with the vision of a city that every New Yorker could afford.
That's right.
We have won.
In a historic first for New York City politics, 34-year-old Indian-American Zohran Mamdani has officially taken office as the mayor of New York City, marking a milestone for representation and progressive politics in America. Mamdani's campaign focused on affordable housing, climate resilience, and police accountability, vowing to build a city where no one is left behind. His grassroots movement drew massive support from working-class neighborhoods and young voters, powered by volunteers, community organizers, and small donations, echoing the energy of past progressive campaigns led by figures like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Bernie Sanders. His message resonated across communities, from immigrant families to first-time voters, redefining what leadership looks like in one of the world's most diverse cities. For Mamdani, this is more than just a win. It's a symbol of how grassroots activism, diversity, and democratic ideals can reshape one of America's most powerful cities. Let's take a look at who's Zohran Mamdani, his background, and some of the main highlights from his campaign.
Born on October 18, 1991 in Kampala, Uganda, Zohran Mamdani comes from a family steeped in both intellect and artistry. His mother is Mira Nair, the globally acclaimed Indian-American filmmaker behind Monsoon Wedding and Salaam Bombay. His father, Mahmood Mamdani, is a renowned academic and currently a professor at Columbia University. His middle name, Kwame, was chosen to honor Kwame Nkrumah, the anti-colonial leader of Ghana. That spirit of liberation seems to have stayed with him. He spent his early childhood in South Africa, attending St. George's Grammar School in Cape Town, before moving to New York at age 7. He went to the Bank Street School of Children, later the Bronx High School of Science, and eventually graduated from Bowdoin College with a degree in Africana Studies. Politics wasn't an afterthought, it was built into Mamdani's worldview. At Bowdoin, he co-founded the Students for Justice in Palestine. He went on to work in grassroots campaigns, volunteering for our city council candidate Kader El-Yateem, managing Ross Barkan's Senate bid, and organizing for Tiffany Caban's DA race. By 2019, Mamdani was ready for his own run. He won a seat in the New York State Assembly, representing parts of Queens, Astoria, and Long Island City. Since then, he's made housing, justice, and affordability the cornerstones of his political identity. But not everyone's happy to see a Muslim socialist candidate leading the polls. Far-right activist Laura Loomer, a Trump ally, launched a deeply Islamophobic attack on social media. She warned that Mamdani's rise was a sign to get ready for another 9/11, calling him a pro-Hamas Muslim socialist. Mamdani didn't flinch. He kept campaigning, kept organizing, and kept talking to voters about what they actually care about: rent, safety, affordability, and dignity. And then he dropped a video that set the internet buzzing.
भाइयों और बहनों, इस इलेक्शन में सिर्फ 20 दिन बचे हैं और चॉइस मेरे और एंड्रू कोमो के बीच में है। अगर आप पहली बार इलेक्शन के बारे में जान रहे हैं तो ये है जो एंड्रू कोमो ऑफर कर रहा है।
आज मेरे पास बिल्डिंगें हैं, प्रॉपर्टी है, बैंक बैलेंस है, बंगला है, गाड़ी है, क्या है तुम्हारे पास?
In a campaign video posted on X, Mamdani spoke entirely in Hindi, challenging frontrunner Andrew Cuomo in the most desi way possible. This election is just 20 days away, and the choice is between me and Andrew Cuomo, he says, before the video cuts to a classic scene from Amitabh Bachchan's D-War. With his mother's cinematic flair and a nod to his cultural roots, Mamdani managed to make his politics personal and memorable. The message? He's not trying to be someone else. He's running as exactly who he is. Mamdani is a Shia Muslim. He's recently married to Rama Dawaji, a Syrian artist based in Brooklyn whose illustrations have featured in The New Yorker and The Washington Post. His faith, identity, and family, far from being political baggage, are central to the story he's telling New Yorkers: that leadership can look different, that it should.
At his final campaign rally, New York City mayoral candidate Zohran Mamdani urged New Yorkers on Monday, November 3rd, to stand up to bullies, specifically referencing Republican U.S. President Donald Trump's threat to restrict federal funds for the city if Mamdani wins the election. Mamdani criticized Trump's attempt to influence the mayoral election, stating that the president's preferred candidate, Andrew Cuomo, shares his same donors, same small vision, and same sense of impunity. Mamdani argued that Trump's endorsement of Cuomo reflects his desire for a mayor who will serve his administration's interests, rather than the best interests of New York City.
But I want to take a moment to speak about who is on the ballot tonight. Donald Trump just put out a statement encouraging New Yorkers, saying they must vote for Andrew Cuomo. We know and have known for months that Donald Trump would favor Andrew Cuomo as the mayor. They share the same donors. They share the same small vision. They share the same sense of impunity. And yet in these final days, what was rumored, what was feared, has become naked and unabashed. The MAGA movement's embrace of Andrew Cuomo is reflective of Donald Trump's understanding that this would be the best mayor for him. Not the best mayor for New York City, not the best mayor for New Yorkers, but the best mayor for Donald Trump as his administration.
If you are elected, that is a very real threat that you are going to have to deal with. How will you address that after you're elected if you win?
I will address that threat for what it is. It is a threat. It is not the law. And too often we treat everything that comes out of Donald Trump's mouth as if it is already legal just by virtue of who is saying it. And it is time to finally stand up to the bullies that make these threats, not to become the bullies ourselves. And we've seen time and time again that the best way to respond to Donald Trump and to defeat these kinds of threats is to actually stand up and fight back. You've seen leaders across this country who have shown their unwillingness to compromise on their own morals and their own values as the way in which they fight back. And too often what we found in New York City is instead a willingness to capitulate and coordinate. And all of this with the most collaborative mayor you could find for Donald Trump in New York City. Donald Trump ran a presidential campaign with the promise of cheaper groceries. Donald Trump ran a presidential campaign committing to lowering the cost of living. What our success will show is that it is not enough to diagnose the despair in working class Americans' lives. You have to actually deliver on the agenda. And that is what we intend to do each and every day while we are in office. You know, I will always speak to every New Yorker who calls the city home. And while I'm looking to speak to Donald Trump's voters, Andrew Cuomo is looking to speak to Donald Trump's donors. That's the difference here. These are New Yorkers who voted for the president in the hopes of having a lower cost of living and who instead found that their despair was exploited as a means by which to deliver the political prosecution of Donald Trump's enemies and the enacting of the single largest deportation force in American history.